So, you know how being famous means everyone gets to have a say about your life to the extent where you can't even have a moment to yourself? Well, some celebs can't handle all that attention and end up doing some crazy stuff just to stay in the spotlight. Some of these get addicted to drugs, and some end up getting tons of surgeries, which, if I ain't exaggerating, turns them from humans to aliens. Here are 10 big-time celebs who you probably wouldn't even recognize anymore. Number 10. Lil' Kim. You know Lil' Kim, right? No? Alright, so Lil' Kim started her career with Notorious B.I.G. back in the day, but after he passed, she went solo and blew up. Her rapping skills were on point, and she wasn't shy about showing off her body in those crazy outfits of hers. She's definitely one of the best female rappers of all time, no doubt about it. But have you seen her lately? She looks nothing like her old self, and it's not just because she's getting older. Word is, she went under the knife and got some serious work done, like skin lightening, facelift, eyelid lifts, you name it. She's basically a completely different person now. And you know what? She doesn't care what anybody thinks. She's always been one to do her own thing and not listen to the haters. Number 9. Mickey Rourke. Back in the 80s, Mickey Rourke was the man. He was killing it in movies like Angel Heart and Body Heat, and everybody loved him. Moms, teens, guys, you name it. People were saying he could be the next Marlon Brando and all that. But things are a little different now, you know? His whole bad boy vibe doesn't seem to work as well with the ladies anymore, and it's not hard to see why. Turns out Mickey was really into amateur boxing, so much so that he even took a break from acting to compete in a couple of events. He actually won a few fights, but then things took a turn. He messed up his nose and had to get it fixed up, but he went to the wrong doctor and it didn't turn out so hot. And then he went back for some Botox and facelift fillers that only made things worse. Now his face is all jacked up and it's hard to recognize him. Real shame. Number 8. Caitlyn Jenner. Remember when Caitlyn Jenner made headlines back in 2015 from transitioning from male to female? It was a big deal, especially since Caitlyn used to be known as Bruce Jenner. You know, the stepdad of the Kardashian sisters and dad to Kendall and Kylie. Bruce was a big deal in the 70s when he won the Olympic decathlon and even did some TV stuff. And thanks to his wife at the time, Kris Jenner, he landed some sweet endorsements and had 2 cute daughters. But all along, Caitlyn felt like she was really a woman trapped inside a man's body. She started taking hormones way back in 1986 and had always wanted to transition, but it wasn't until 2015 that she made it public. And now, if you look at Caitlyn today, you'd never guess she used to be a male athlete back in the day. She's all elegant and stuff now. Number 7. Matthew Perry. When we think of 90s TV actors whose faces have drastically changed, Matthew Perry is one of the first that comes to mind. He became famous as one of the 6 main characters in the hit TV show Friends, which ran for 10 seasons and made him a millionaire with a $1 million per episode salary. However, after the show ended in 2004, he seemed to disappear from the public eye. It wasn't until 2019 when a photo of him and his co-star Courtney Cox surfaced that people realized how much he had changed. Some speculated that he had plastic surgery, but the truth was that he struggled with addiction and went to rehab multiple times. It's also important to note that he's now in his 50s, so it's natural for his appearance to have changed over time. Nonetheless, he'll always be remembered as the sarcastic Chandler Bing from Friends. Number 6. Pamela Anderson. Remember Pamela Anderson, the bombshell of the 90s? She had it all: stunning looks, a killer bod, and that iconic blonde hair. She was the ultimate fantasy for every dude as she ran down the beach in that red one-piece swimsuit in Baywatch. And even after all these years, she still looks pretty darn good. She's got that natural glow and her beauty game is still on point. But let's face it, age catches up with everyone eventually. Even though she's still rocking her signature blonde hair and that 90s makeup look, it's clear that time has taken a toll on her. She's not the same person she was back in the day, and who knows why that is. Maybe it's from partying too hard or dealing with liver disease. Whatever it is, it's a reminder that nobody can stay young forever. Number 5. Macaulay Culkin. If you've never seen Home Alone, you must be living under a rock or just not into Christmas and stuff like that. But you can't talk about this mega hit of a movie without mentioning Macaulay Culkin, who played the lead role as Kevin McAllister. He was just a wee lad when he started acting at age 4 and was once the biggest child star out there. But things went sideways when he sued his parents and got a divorce at just 13 years old. He took a back seat for a while and only made some guest appearances here and there until a pic of him went viral in 2012. Fans were like, "What the? Who's that skinny and sickly looking dude?" Word on the street was that he was into some pretty hard stuff, which he first denied but later came clean about. Number 4. Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes was one of those child stars who had it all but somehow lost their way. She became a household name after appearing in some popular Nickelodeon shows and even won a bunch of Kids' Choice Awards. She later starred in the hit movie She's the Man and a few others, and it looked like she was on her way to becoming a big-time celeb. Unfortunately, things didn't turn out as expected, and she retired from acting in 2010. She struggled with personal issues, and her appearances in public didn't help matters as she was snapped looking disheveled and got arrested a couple of times. She was eventually sent to a psychiatric facility, and during her court appearances, she was almost unrecognizable, wearing a messy blonde wig and looking a little heavier. Number 3. Janice Dickinson. Janice Dickinson, the self-proclaimed first supermodel, was undeniably a beauty icon of the 70s and 80s. She had a successful modeling career, so much so that she went on to establish her own modeling agency. But let's face it, nobody stays young forever, and Janice was no exception. She turned to plastic surgery, and it's safe to say that she went overboard with it. Her face had undergone drastic transformations that were hard to miss. Unfortunately, her situation went from bad to worse when she had to file for bankruptcy. In fact, she owed a significant amount of money to Beverly Hills dermatologist Arnold Klein. In the end, she admitted to having had Botox, liposuction, facelifts, and breast enlargements. Number 2. Brandon Fraser. Brandon Fraser was a big deal in the movie industry during the 90s and 2000s, and he still is today. You might recognize him from his iconic roles in movies like The Mummy and George of the Jungle. Unfortunately, he faced a lot of health issues from years of doing stunts in movies, and he was also sexually harassed by a Hollywood executive. His career slowed down and he gained a lot of weight, which made him hard to recognize. But in 2021, he made a triumphant comeback with his movie The Whale, which won him lots of praise and awards from fans and critics alike. Number 1. Jennette McCurdy. Jennette McCurdy, the popular Nickelodeon star, rose to fame at just 15 years old when she appeared on the hit show iCarly. She later got her own spin-off show, Sam and Cat, where she co-starred with Ariana Grande. But after her mother passed away, she abruptly quit acting, leaving fans wondering why. Recently, she released a memoir called I'm Glad My Mom Died, where she revealed that her childhood as a star was terrible. Her mother had pushed her into acting to support the family financially, causing her to struggle with anorexia and bulimia. It's not surprising that she looks a little off these days, given the emotional toll that experience must have taken on her. Now, which celebrity transformation do you consider the most shocking? Leave us a comment below, do share with a friend on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Twitter. As usual, I'm your host, Murphy, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.